Hey guys, it's Parker here, back with part 31. I think this is the most longest series that I've ever done for this channel, but that's to be expected because I did cut into like more shorter parts. And this game is like pretty long, like Ace Attorney is just pretty long. Okay, so so for this one, I was like so they're like asserting that Mr. Winniebank didn't hold the gun and then he should have just fired, but like, you know, Winniebank never fired the gun, like he died instead. So I think I'll just present this.
Objection.
So you're saying that on the night in question, the victim, Mr. Winniebank, was wielding a gun, is that correct? That's it, Gov, we got the picture.
Yes, Nash, yes, no question.
And yet, photographic evidence obtained immediately after the incident clearly shows that Mr. Winniebank was not holding a firearm of any description. Eh? You what? Gordon Bennett, that ain't right.
Objection.
There can be no question that the victim's revolver was used in the incident. I would remind the court that Mr. Winniebank's gun was found at the scene. Not only was it identified as the murder weapon, but it was found in the accused's hand. Yeah, that Maltour used the victim's own gun to finish him off. Give me that gun! Bam! Kind of thing.
Hold it.
Stay exactly where you are, right there. Eh? If the crime had taken place as you so colorfully described in your testimony, it would give rise to undeniable and significant inconsistency in the final moments you just acted out. Goodness, are you sure, counsel? You intrigue me, my learned friend, but let's see some evidence to support your claim. Where is the proof that demonstrates this inconsistency in the witness's portrayal of the victim's final moments? The autopsy report, because the gun was shot at a lower angle instead of from that kind of angle that the brothers are acting out. According to their testimony, the witnesses claim to have heard a shout of "Gimme that gun," followed by the gunshot. Indeed, with the two events happening almost simultaneously, or so you've been led to believe. Yes, that's right. Now, if that testimony is true... Okay, I'm just checking to make sure... Okay, microphone and recording is all good. It will mean that at the time of death, the victim and his attacker would have been facing each other. However, in the autopsy report, it clearly states that the victim died instantly after being shot from behind. So, as I stated before, there's an undeniable inconsistency in her testimony, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin.
Yeah.
But it's God's honest truth.
It is, Nash, it is, when he was shot that night.
The shopkeeper had a gun in his hand. We saw it with our own bleeding eyes. Did I hear you just now? You actually saw Mr. Winniebank holding a gun? Something like that might have slipped out. Ladies and gentlemen, you have all just heard the admission by these two witnesses that on the night in question they actually saw with their own eyes the victim wielding a gun, which can only mean that despite their testimony to the contrary, the Skulkin brothers must have encountered the victim in person.
Nash, yeah.
Order! Witnesses, explain yourselves at once. Well, the thing is, they weren't supposed It would seem that my previous warning fell on deaf ears. I made it quite clear that false witness would be the death of you. Am I to understand your place of interest of your original testimonies or renewed lies? Ever so sorry, Governor. Truth is easy,
Cut it out, Nash, cut it out! If we black now, you know what he'll do to us.
He? Who are they talking about? Let me make your position here perfectly clear. You will talk. There's no other option available to you. Bro, come on, game's up.
But we have our guts for garters.
In case it hasn't quite sunk in yet, no matter how hard you try to hide it, the truth will come out. On the night in question, it is apparent that you brothers met face to face with the victim. I demand that you testify again to explain the precise circumstances under which this meeting took place. Well, do we have to? On pain of death. I suggest you make yourselves fully aware that this is your very last chance to tell the truth. What's going on here? Like, they keep lying and they keep on mentioning this other guy. Alright, so we just got inside the gap and he decided relief when the geezer showed his mug. Give me that gun, he bellowed, and they flew us so like he was possessed. I thought we had it. For an old geezer, the block was strong as an ox. He chucked me over the counter. Wow. The truth just comes out here. I pulled me gun at him, and then he legged it through the door in the back room. We never had nothing to do with killing him. That's all what happened, I swear. Are you sure? Are you sure you're telling the truth? So you're now telling us the moments before the victim was killed in the storeroom. You in fact encountered him in the main part of the shop. Well, yeah, sorry. Well, we found ourselves in an interesting juncture. This changes matters considerably. But honest, Governor, this time, Dash, we ain't got nothing more to hide. Very well. Consult order defensive procedure or cross-examination. Yes, my lord. This is it. The one I've been waiting for. I've been waiting for this. Okay.
Hold it!
When you say geezer, I presume you mean the victim and proprietor of the shop, Mr. Winniebank.
Who else? Sorry, I mean, that's right.
We was keeping a close eye on the interest of the gav, obviously, but we never thought no one was gonna come out of the back room like that. The back room being the pawnbroker's storeroom.
Yeah, that must be where he popped up from. Only place it could have been.
So it seemed that the victim was already in the storeroom when these brothers entered the premises. Which means Jenny was in there at that point as well. But that doesn't make sense, does it? If Gina had thrown Mr. Winniebank into the storeroom with her at gunpoint, then why would he have emerged from the same room all alone when the brothers arrived? Oh, I don't know. Did you see the accused at the time? What? The motor? Gonna tell ya. No way, Gobber. We have bigger fish to fry then. I mean, the old geezer just lost it.
Hold it!
You mentioned that Mr. Winniebank shouted those words in your previous testimony too. However, we couldn't have heard him yelling them on the other side of the storm door. Did we? But the truth is he was shouting those words at you, wasn't he? Well, yeah. Was the victim, Mr. Winniebank, wielding a gun at the time? What was he ever? Blame me, love me, great ugly barrel head pointed straight at me in frontispiece. So what you're saying is, you definitely saw Mr. Winniebank with the gun at that time, is that right?
It is, Gub, it is spot on.
Then all of a sudden he came at us, he did.
It was bad that we didn't know who was going for who.
You were clear all going for each other.
Like Nash said, we thought I had it, but I mean...
Hold it!
Yes, I noted that you mentioned the counter in your previous testimony too.
Well, yeah, of course he did.
He knocked over a lot of books, candlesticks, some skull, whatnot.
That got taken with some marionette with knocked over a picture frame with knocked up scales on the floor.
So in fact, it was the sound of the gunshot that shocked you and made you knock those things off the counter? Well, Big Brother was flying over the counter like a gunshot, I could tell, then the old geezer pinned him.
He did, Nash, he did. If he hadn't been there, the block would have flattened me like a blooming pancake in seconds.
At the time in question, the alarm was raised at the local police station via a secret cable from the pawnbrokery. There is a button under the counter used to activate it, which is presumably pressed by the victim. That's right, when the brothers went to see him back into the street, they ran straight into arriving police, didn't they? Poor Mr. Winniebank, he did everything he could to protect his shop. Pull me, okay.
Hold it!
Press this guy. Were you intending to shoot Mr. Winniebank? Nah, never. I was just, you know, looking out for me, bruv, weren't I? He was being flattened, don't forget. By a man whose shop was being burgled, yes. And then, the man fled into the storeroom when you pointed your gun at him, is that it? Yeah, that's it. He shoved me away, then ran after the door and shut himself in. There's something... Whoops. There's something about that last remark. Something that doesn't quite ring true. I wonder why Mr. Winniebank ran away into the storeroom. What? Well, according to what everyone's saying, Ginny was in there waiting for him with a gun. Ah, yes, that's right. Gina allegedly used Mr. Winniebank's gun to threaten and force him to open the storeroom door. In which case, how did the gun end up in Mr. Winniebank's hands again? I have no idea, but that's strange, isn't it? This little inconsistency could be significant. I should make a mental note of it.
That's right, Dash. It's sorry me and my brother here.
Hold it!
You say it had nothing to do with it?
Nothing at all. Nothing, Gov. Nothing. No geezer when they shut us up in the back room, didn't he? Locked it was from the inside. We know it was because he tried to open it.
But it was a decent door that one couldn't strong, wouldn't budge an inch. So in the end, the situation remains unchanged. Inside the store with the pawnbroker, there was only one other person. This whole person could possibly have shot the victim, the accused, Miss Gina Lestrade.
It would indeed appear so. What say you to that, counsel?
I don't know. Was there anyone else apart from Gina could have possibly shot Mr. Winniebank? I mean, there could have been, right? Mr. and Mrs. Skulkin. What? What's that look for? From the minute that you encountered the victim face to face that night. The course of this trial changed completely. It did? What is your point, my learned friend? The question we must answer is who could have shot Mr. Winniebank, and it's the belief of the defense that the defense is not the only possible answer at all. You have my attention. In that case, let us return to this plan of the premises. The victim was killed in the store, which was locked from the inside. Those are the facts, so pray, what other possible answer to the question of who shot the man could there be?
Counsel, you must now provide answers scored in respect to two conundrums.
Two, my lord, twice as many chances to be right, maybe?
Indeed, namely, from what location did the culprit shoot the victim? And furthermore, where was the victim at the time?
Understood, my lord. Are you alright, Uno? Are you alright, Uno? I'm not entirely sure, but there's one thing I'm sure about. If I can prove that this credible new alternative to what happened, it will change Gina's prospects hugely. So now, time for some clarity. Show the court on this plan the answers to the questions posed by his lordship. If you believe someone else could have killed the victim, indicate from where that person could have fired the gun. Oh, okay. Let's just switch. Let's just switch the position. I mixed it up. I was like, wait, could the shooter have been in the storeroom? No. Give it a try. I just accidentally mixed it up. Mr. Winniebank could have been in the storeroom and the guy should have been outside the storeroom. Okay, I'll do it right now. Okay, right here.
Take that!
Okay, and then Mr. Winniebank was in the storeroom. Okay,
Take that!
The culprit shot the victim from outside the storeroom. Continue. Mr. Winniebank died instantly from a bullet wound on his back. Looking on the stain of blood on the storeroom door, it doesn't appear that the body was moved after death, which tells us that he was almost certainly shot while he was in the storeroom. However, the crucial point is where was the shooter when the fatal bullet was fired. Sorry, I can't read today, apparently.
So you're adamant that the shot was fired from outside the storeroom?
Well, according to the Skulkin brothers' earlier testimony, if Mr. Winniebank ran away through the door, we have to assume that the door was open at the time, because he ran out. It was precisely at the moment the victim was fleeing for his life that these brothers had the perfect opportunity to shoot the man in the back once he was inside the storeroom.
Ah!
Come to think of it, do you remember what the prosecutor said at the time I started the trial? Okay, so shorter in height than himself. Poor man, shot while he was running away, running as fast as he could to safety. Of course, he would have been leaning forward as he was running away. So even if the bullet was fired horizontally, it would still have entered his body on an upward trajectory. So the culprit isn't necessarily someone shorter than Mr. Winniebank.
Objection!
I'm sure my learned friend can't have forgotten that the storeroom door was found closed and locked from the inside. You claim that the victim was shot as he fled into the room. Maybe, like, Gina, like, saw the gunfight that was happening, and then when she saw Winniebank freaking die, so she was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna close the freaking door. I'm gonna put myself to safety because, there's like people with a gun shooting from the outside. Would you not close and lock the door if there's like a gunshot happening? Do you also claim his corpse was dexterous enough to turn the key in the lock? Oh, but what if someone else locked the door? To get to safety? Yes, just someone else who could have locked the storm door. Is that so?
Very well then, counsel. Present your hypotheses to the court. In the scenario just described, the deepest assertion is that the victim was shot from inside the storeroom. In which case, who shut and locked the storeroom door from the inside? Jada! Because she didn't want to get shot either. She didn't want to get killed either. Obviously, the person who locked the door was the only other person inside the storeroom at the time. The defendant, Miss Gina Estrade.
Objection!
That's absurd. You're suggesting that the accused deliberately engineered the sealed room? Because she wanted to be safe. For what possible reason? Such reactions would only serve to tighten the noose around her neck.
I'm inclined to agree, I must say. Well, counsel?
Yes, it's a tricky one, that, isn't it?
Half big notions have no place in my courtroom, counsel. Remember that, please.
But of course, Ginny would have locked the door. It almost goes without saying, isn't it? It does? Because she wanted to be safe. Well, if I was Ginny in that situation, I know I would lock the door as quickly as I could. I mean, those two burglars just fired a gun in her direction, hadn't they? Oh yes, obviously. Before the two brothers arrived, Miss Estrade and Mr. Winniebank were in the storeroom together. Now, I don't know what went on between them at the time, but at some point, Mr. Winniebank must have heard the intruders breaking into his shop and left the storeroom.
Intruders, eh? That sounds brave.
If your theory is correct, that will leave the accused alone in the storeroom. Yes, it would. Then, probably only moments later, the victim fled back through the storeroom door, hoping to escape danger. Hit in the back by the bullet, Mr. Winniebank fell onto the floor where he was, just inside the storeroom. And what we have to ask ourselves now is, what would the defendant have done at that moment?
I see where you're going with this.
Outside the storeroom was a terrifying killer who had just murdered Mr. Winniebank. As soon as that thought struck Mrs. Estrade, she slammed the door shut and locked it. In order to save her own life.
Hold it!
But I mean, we ain't the ones that done it.
We ain't gotta believe us. I mean, come on, we never shoot no one.
Objection!
You shot Mr. Jones. That's blatantly untrue. I know for a fact that you would. Because before my own eyes, you shot Mr. Herlock Jones. There's only one logical conclusion here. Mr. and Mr. Skulkin, you brothers had every opportunity to have been the true perpetrators of Mr. Winniebank's murder.
Ah!
Where does this leave us? You mean to say that it wasn't the pickpocket who shot the pawnbroker after all?
Oh, sure, no, it's just straight brothers. It seems like as shady as a dense forest.
That was amazing, Bruno. All the members of the jury seem to be firmly on our side now. I know, first time ever, and probably the last. Well, I think you've done it, sure. Surely they have to give a verdict of not. An admirable effort, my learned friend. What's this now? He's laughing?
You find this situation amusing, Lord Van Zieks. I myself find the defense's argument most persuasive.
I dare say. Such chicanery is the bread and butter of the street performers in your provincial eastern nation. But such plainly malicious conjuring tricks amount to nothing more than inexcusable pettifoggery here. Man, his vocabulary is so elevated. I'm just like, wow. I'm just like taking notes for this guy. What? The hypothesis you put forward so ostensibly credibly cannot and will not stand. Because, you see, it contains a fatal flaw. A fatal flaw? Do you mean to tell me that you're unaware of your logic's failing?
I say, Lord Van Zieks. Maybe I didn't expect this bally conjuring trick or whatever is the troops on the ground.
The fatal flaw of my learned friend's argument is really very simple to understand. Assuming you're not too dim-witted to count bullets.
By George, count bullets.
Oh dear, he noticed then. Huh? What's everyone talking about? Counsel.
Oh yeah, yes sir.
Tell the court how many bullets are found at the scene of the crime. Oh yeah, the freaking bullets on the gun. Because only one was fired from the gun. Correct. The first, that which hit the victim in the back, ending his life. And the second, that which struck the detective, Mr. Herlock Sholmes, on his arrival at the scene.
Indeed. The defense presented a picture showing the damage caused by the second bullet earlier in the proceedings. The bullet which injured Mr. Sholmes appears to have passed through the body to strike the calendar.
Your lordship's understanding is correct. Furthermore, we know there are two firearms involved in the incident. The revolver belonging to the victim, Mr. Winniebank, and the Skulking Brothers revolver. The evidence shows that a single bullet was fired from each gun.
Yes, indeed it does, a single bullet from each.
Now then, my learned friend. Whoops. My dumb Butterfingers strikes again. You yourself told the court only moments ago that these two brothers shot Mr. Sholmes right before your eyes.
Yes, I did. Oh my goodness, I did think of mine. That if a single bullet fired from the rider's gun hit Mr. Sholmes, it means when you make not shot by saying gun stop, only one bullet stop.
Exactly. Yes, the Nippon street performer presented an ostensibly credible argument. However, it was never anything more than a diversionary trick with no hope of standing up to scrutiny.
Ugh. Why? Order!
Pray forgive the discourtesy of flinging the dregs of this hail nectar into the public gallery.
Just how many wine do you drink in the court? Well, Lord Van Zieks?
But this court needs to open its eyes. The accused, Miss Gina Estrade, is no ordinary little girl. Despite her young years, she can, regrettably, no longer be described as a juvenile. No, the presenter's dog is far from a law-abiding citizen. She has a past riddled with criminal conduct. The truth is, the accused broke into the pawnbroking on the night in question with loathsome intent. As you can see, beyond doubt in this print, which depicts her threatening the victim with the murder weapon. And I have here in my possession one more piece of evidence the prosecution wishes to present. Oh, new evidence, that is. Yep, the disc that we gave to Gregson. Yes, that music box disc. McGilda's music box disc. The very day before the hateful murder of Mr. Winningbank, the accused attempted to make off with this article which clearly doesn't belong to her, and with none of the subtlety of a pickpocket I might add, but by brute force of brass and impudence. Good gracious! Make no mistake, any sympathy for the accused on account of her ears is misguided and dangerous. There are no depths to which this girl would not stoop and pushed. No crime she will not commit. The court forgets that fact at its peril. I see. I think it would be prudent to take this music box disc into evidence council as a grand testament to... Oh, Lord Francisque, Inspector Gregson, what? Yes, Inspector. We had a meeting yesterday at the yard with the prosecution service on, I think it was agreed that the disc going to be used as evidence. What's this all about? Why is the Inspector acting strangely? That's the first time he said anything to Van Zieks at all. I am unaware of any such meeting. But those are the searches are for the top the government big was his assistant. Inspector, I am the prosecutor, and I alone determine how to present my case. Your warning is noted. Thank you. The prosecution wishes to proceed with submitting this disc as evidence, my lord. Indeed, bailiff! Okay, wow. Fancy's like the government? Who cares about the freaking government? Okay, why don't we examine this? I can't find anything out of place. For McGilded. That's the man he defended in court a couple months ago, isn't it, Bruno? Yes, or rather, mistakenly defended. I wonder what his name's doing in the back of his disc. That's a question I'd love to know the answer to myself. Oh, Bruno, look! This is blood! Yes, you're right. Just a small spear. Actually, I feel so I might have noticed that before. Aha! This is my time to shine again! That'll be waiting forever! Alright, hold still on with the desk, Bruno. Can we get this done quickly, Iris? In a flash. Okay, what color is it? Green? That... Oh my god! There was green blood on the calendar! Wait, that color... On the calendar of Mr. Winningbank's shop! It was green! It's just that green, it's not the first time we've seen that color, is it? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, oh my god. Okay, let's look at this. Yep, it's the same color green. Oh my god. It's green. It's that guy. What's his face? Edgar Benedict. Oh my god. Okay. The prosecution has established the accused's motive, opportunity, and basis of character. There is nothing more to add. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I await your informed decisions and rest my case. I don't believe it. I had the jury on my side for once for all 5 minutes. Oh dear, I was even for 5 minutes here and it was more like 2 minutes. My lord. Wonder if I might say something to support. Proceed, Mr. Foreman. Been something about in a bit of a fog up to now, truth be told, but all of a sudden... The answer's barely obvious to me and my men. There's only one thing for it. Oh no. Very well, the court will hear from the jury. Ladies and gentlemen, you present your leanings as the defendant's culpability.
Guilty.
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 We have a consensus among the jury, it seems. When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth.
That's my line. I wrote that for Hurley. Ark, how dare you use it against us?
Don't worry, Iris. I don't think we're finished yet. We are not finished yet. There's still more to this case than we realize. There must be, because there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Gina didn't shoot Mr. Winniebank. That's beyond any doubt. That guy was at the crime scene. The Edgar Benedict dude.
Very well. We'll proceed with the second summation examination of the day.
Mr. Foreman, are you and the other jury's ready?
Guard that Scotch is primed and ready for action, sir.
Very good. So, ladies and gentlemen of the jury,
you will each explain on what grounds you have now determined the defendant to be guilty.
Alright, summation examination time. Time to listen to the theme.
It seems that there's a little remaining room for doubt. I have to admit, I was rather bowled over by the argument before by the chap in black. But when that fell apart like a house of cards, I saw that I'd jolly well been hoodwinked. Well, no more.
The whole court was turning against me. It's not fair. Iris, that prosecution's being mean. Just because Ginny's done something she shouldn't have done in the past, that doesn't make her a murderer. Allow me to savor this fruity vintage while I savor the spectacle of your fruitless debate on the matter. Here's to the truth coming out, eventually.
That's enough preamble. Also proceed with the summation examination.
Alright, let's go, Ryunosuke.
Yes, my lord.
Hold it!
I actually examined the disc though.
Hold it!
Does your employer die with thieves? So I suppose. If there was another bullet somewhere of which we are unaware, I'd have to consider my position. A third bullet somewhere to see? Could that be possible? I don't think so. Yeah, there was no third gun, so I'm just gonna say it's impossible. Unfortunately, only 2 bullets were discovered by the police during their investigation. Yes, I know. Right. And I don't imagine a good man at Scotland Yard would have overlooked anything if I missed a bullet while I was cleaning his lordship's office well. I should receive a sound scolding, I don't doubt. And he should receive a visit from the police, perhaps? Sounds like a crime scene to me. Their bullet. It would completely turn things around if there was one, wasn't it? Do you think we might find one lying around somewhere?
Hold it!
So if I understood correctly, you need 2 pictures of left eye one and a slightly different right eye one. Exactly! Then you can see the scene in 3 dimensions like this. So if you have 2 bullets, I don't suppose you can see anything useful with them. I think you'll find that no matter how much you squint, the truth of the situation always is the same here. The only person gonna shot the victim is that girl in the dock. How can you be so sure of that? Think about it, the Skulkin brothers shot the great detective, didn't they? Yes, as we mentioned once or twice. Well then, sure is coming to focus now, isn't it? This is a waste of time. I'm not going to change this man's mind anytime soon. Okay, we'll just leave it alone for now. Oh my god, the freaking scalpel. Would you please stop murdering about things that have nothing to do with this trial, sir? The defendant's life is on the line here. Well, the thing is, I couldn't really say that there's nothing to do with this trial, to be honest. Huh? I mean, there's a question that the man was shot, but the bullet simply vanished from his stomach? It's quite inexplicable, don't you think? So, when the brothers, I don't know, like, when someone else shot, Benedict Egbert, whatever, the bullet got stuck in his stomach, so that's why he can't find the 3rd bullet in the scene. I almost don't want to ask, but the surgery you've been murdering about all this time you're operating on... What's the fellow's name was? Hurlich? No, Herlock? No, Herlock? Herlock Sholmes by any chance? Yes, good lord. It was that Herlock fellow. So, the brothers like shot Herlock? And then the other bullet at the scene with the calendar, that was when the crime scene happened. What? You're the surgeon that operated Mr. Sholmes? That's right. Using the very latest on the stage of techniques on that was a very major op, I can tell you. It's crazy. Let me see, the fellow was brought in not long after midnight, if I remember correctly. They said he'd been shot by some criminal and others opened him like a shot. But the funny thing is, one of his insides a fine-tooth comb and couldn't find a bullet anywhere. So I'm afraid I have to throw up my hands and just stitch the fellow back up. I hate to state the obvious, but... Yes? Surely that's because the bullet is still at the scene of the shooting. The cause for the defense is correct. As is clearly shown in this particular print, but that must have been a different bullet, wasn't it? The bullet that the Skulkin brothers fired at Mr. Sholmes hit him in the stomach region. Then exited his body and lodged to the shop wall where the calendar is hanging by the door. But that's a different bullet. It's a different bullet. It hit a different person, not Sholmes. Ha! Who do you think I am, son? Well, juror number 4 is about the best I could do. As soon as I saw the wound in the man's stomach, I flipped him over. Like a pancake? Are you saying that I checked his back? Of course it did. There was a trace of injury. No sign that the bullet left the body at all. What? That's the point! The only logical conclusion is the bullet is still somewhere in the man's innards, which is exactly what I said about slicing him up. I'm still none the wiser every now. How many times do I have to say it? Can somebody please explain how it happened? Can someone please solve the mystery? It's almost as mystery as how this jury was put together.
Hold it!
Mr. Sholmes searches on the jury. I've experienced this recently, but this is ridiculous. I'm as surprised as everyone. But there's no question that Mr. Sholmes was shot. Well, that's what the police told me that brought him in. How bad were his injuries, doctor? He was in a bad way. Lost a huge amount of blood, you know. I suppose he was shot at quite close range too. His skin was badly burned around the point of injury. Burnt? As I said, put the fellow over, examined his back, and there was no sign of exit wound, which is why I thought I'd better locate the leg and pop it out. And yet you said you found no bullet inside the patient? Well, what I'm done. What because it's the wall of the pawnbrokers. But how did it get there? I need someone to solve this mystery for drives me to sanity. If only there's some expert in ballistics, it would help. Even if it's extremely untrustworthy. Maybe juror number 6. So we have a disappearing bullet in our hands.
Hold it!
What do you mean you're in for a busy day? Forgot to say, stop. Do excuse me, stop. I am a communications officer, stop. A communications officer? Does this have to do something with sending telegrams?
Everything from personal messages written by members of the public to the latest news in the capital. I convert all the messages to Morse code and type it out to the entire world electronically.
To the entire world?
Thousands of miles of cable under the sea, stop. Worldwide communication network, stop. Information transmitted to from all coordinates.gov, stop.
Ah, yes. She was getting equally worked up about radio waves or the like before, wasn't she?
I specialize in communicating information from government departments and newspaper offices.
I see.
I'm sure she'll have to wire the newspaper reports of today's guilty verdict later. So no sleep for me tonight, I imagine.
Let's just finish the trial first, shall we?
Hold it!
I thought you were just a tourist? Good day. I am visiting London for sightseeing. I'd like to take bus to Crystal Tower, please. There's no way it's just a visiting tourist. So, you're a ballistics expert? Who knew? I have much experience with guns. Ah. I have lived through many, how do you say, extreme, violent baths of them. No blood of them. Ah, extreme violent bloodbaths, perhaps? Those extreme violent bloodbaths. English is very difficult tongue. Considering the sort of people you associate with, I'm surprised you still have a tongue. Anyway, if you have questions about bullets and guns, you ask me. There is nothing I do not know, no mystery I cannot solve. He's very confident in his knowledge of guns, that's for sure. But if possible, please, only in Russian language. He's not very confident in his knowledge of English though, is he? No, still, we should bear in mind, he's our man to dismiss about guns or bullets. Okay. Bazis has managed to convince everyone. When you have eliminated the impossible, he said, but he hasn't. We're going to fight back, we need more material. And we have to fight back, we have to turn this trial around again. Okay, I'm gonna pit, juror number 4 with juror number 6.
Objection!
The two statements clearly contradict. The idea that all I do is pit jurors against each other. Oh, a ballistics expert! Pitting P-I-T-T. On the night in question, Mr. Schultz was shot by one of the skulking brothers. But since there was no sign of exit wound at the back, we must assume the bullet didn't pass through him. However, no bullet was found lodged in Mr. Schultz's body either, furthermore. A bullet was found lodged in the wall of the shop where Mr. Schultz was shot. Mr. Schultz was shot. Juror number 6. Hello, my name is Villain. Villain? Pleased to meet you. This apparent contradiction in the facts that is so clearly troubling juror number 4. Are you able to explain the mystery? I have seen very similar situations in Motherland. It was night. There was blizzard. I was running away along Mountain Road in freezing cold. Jolly. The snow was flying high on both sides of the road. It was very narrow and dangerous. My pursuers had hunting rifles and they were on dog sleds. Mental note, don't ask too many questions. I was shot from behind and I fell down in snow. And the situation was very similar to what I hear today from doctor. They could not find bullet in my body. And no sign of, how do you say, exit wound. Then where did the bullet go? Bullet never hit me. Well, if it never hit, why did it fall down? Bullet hit frozen wall of ice very close to my side. What? One small piece, very sharp, broke away from the lump of ice and pierced my body. It made a deep wound that looks just like a bullet wound. Good gracious! Of course, piece of ice quickly melted inside me, and that is solution to the mystery of disappearing bullet. But that doesn't answer the question at all. The shooting happened in a pawnbroker shop. Not some snowy mountain road in another country. It's just an idea, but we might not be looking at exactly the same scenario here. Bruno, where exactly was her shot again? The abdomen and the stomach, sort of around this area, I think? Well, that's precisely where he always wears a little pouch on his belt. A pouch? Actually, I noticed something like that. Yes, a pouch. It's where he keeps 3 glass piles of very dangerous chemicals that he uses in his investigations. What? Really? Doctor, where's the pouch Mr. Schultz is wearing? Well,
The fellow had nothing like that as personally arrived at the hospital as far as I remember.
If I may. Or fancies? While I realize it's forbidden for the prosecution to interject during a summation examination, I should inform the defense that I have the pouch in question in the antechamber outside the courtroom. Sorry? As I understand it, when the police arrived on the scene and found Mr. Sholmes injured, they removed the pouch in order to assess the wound.
Ah, thank goodness, I thought I was getting forgetful for a moment.
Since then, it has been in my safekeeping along with all other evidence relating to the case. I can personally vouch for the fact that it's not been touched since the incident occurred.
Very well. While starting unconventional during summation examination, I must demand the prosecution presents the items in question with all speed. Bring forth Mr. Herlock Sholmes' pouch. I see. So this is the pouch worn by Mr. Sholmes on the night in question. Is it?
Yeah, one of the glass vials like broken. Look at that. One of the piles broken and the letter around is scorched black. It's almost as if the pile exploded.
Exploded?
So that night, the bullet from Skulkin Brothers' gun struck Mr. Sholmes' pouch.
And it was a glass vial exploding that caused the fellow's injury.
This bullet did not penetrate the victim, but was deflected into a wall of shop. A delightfully complex aroma.
Well, it appeared one mystery has been solved at least.
Though it has no bearing on the truth of this case. Okay, let's look at the court record. Okay, I guess they didn't put it to evidence yet. The bungling and burgling brothers shot the detective, and the accused shot the pawnbroker. The pertinent facts of the case remain unaltered. But we're getting kind of closer to the truth. Just be patient.
But at least the mystery solved. I could sleep easy tonight. Thank you, young man.
Thank you very much. Glad I could help.
Due to this barren conundrum just saw the horrible secretary scruffy pouch as evidence.
Hurley's pouch isn't scruffy. Alright. Let us examine this. I can't find anything out of place. It's very scorched badly just here. Oh, the strap is broken. Look. That must have been where the bullet hit then. Let me see. The bullet is in there. What the Iris, look! Behind where the broken piles, do you see it? Ah, that's the Skulkin Brothers bullet! What a stroke of luck that hit his pouch. This is an amazing discovery. What this means is, there were 3 bullets fired at Winniebanks that night. We found exactly what the juror was talking about. The 3rd bullet. It's time to press the juror again, I think. Okay. Alright. Now, back to the summation examination. Why don't we examine this? This is the bullet that was fired from Skulkin Brothers' gun on the night of the incident. Yes, so it turns out it never actually entered Hurley's body at all. Thanks to the thick leather of the pouch he was wearing, it saved him. Heh, Hurley's always lucky like that. Well, considering what he had to go through in the hospital, I wonder how lucky he really was. Oh dear, poor Hurley. Okay.
It would appear the thief is still struggling to alter our opinion,
Please, my lord, a little more time. After all, this new piece of evidence. It could be a valuable clue, and I can't afford to overlook anything here, Rinosuke. There's still a way to turn this around somehow, I'm sure of it. I can prove it! I can prove it. Allow me to show you then. The 3rd bullet. Take that! Here it is, we discovered it just now. Yes, on the night in question, Winniebank's pawnbroker, another bullet was fired.
Hold it!
What is this new trickery, Nipponi's conjurer? Where did you find that bullet? It was lodged inside Mr. Sholmes' pouch. What? This pouch was removed from around Mr. Sholmes' waist before he was taken to the hospital, and since then it has been touched by no one.
Do you mean to say the shot fired by the Skulkin Brothers that night?
Yes, as your lordship has surmised, it hit this pouch.
But that makes no sense whatsoever. We already know the whereabouts of the bullet fired at Mr. Sholmes.
It's clearly visible in this particular print. That's another bullet from another gun. Ah, 2 guns in the scene have already been submitted into the court record as evidence. Yes, that a mystery to make and that belonged to Skulking Brothers. An examination of both guns revealed that only a single bullet has been fired from each. Ah, but that was mean. Another gun was at the scene, that's right. We now know that on the night in question, 3 bullets were fired. However, only 2 bullets were fired from the gun recovered from the crime scene, and until that incontrovertible inconsistency is somewhat explained, we cannot and must not pass judgment. Arg! Arg! Order! Order! While the summation examination remains incomplete, the court has been presented with new facts. Facts that would appear to shake the very foundations upon which the case against the defendant has been built. As is my prerogative in this situation, I hereby temporarily suspend the summation examination. By Jupiter, what? Ballet, bring the witnesses back to stand at once. Witnesses! Governor! Were you listening to proceedings on the defense character summation examination? He was, Governor, he was! Perhaps you can dispense with the tedious preamble. Simply answer this one question. A dirt bullet has been identified at the scene of the crime. What do you make of that? Make of it, Gov, I didn't... is it one of yours? God, blimey, Gov, not a chance. In that case, did you have an accomplice? What? What? Never! The Skulking Brothers worked alone! It's just 2 of us, that's their trademark! How soon we forget poor Sulky. Only 2 of the bullets in the crime scene originated from the firearms we have in evidence. The 3rd bullet was fired from another gun. Where is it? Lummy, that's a head scratcher. Counsel for the defense. Yes? I should like to hear your thoughts regarding these new developments. The 3rd bullet, and the mysterious missing firearm from whence it came. Thinking back over all the testimony we've heard and all the evidence we've seen, I think I'm starting to form a picture of what really happened that night. My lord, I think it's clear that the 3rd bullet tells us about the Skulking Brothers. They had a secret accomplice. On that night, at Moon Bank's pawnbrokery, the brothers must have been working with the 3rd man. The witnesses are clearly doing their best to cover up the existence of this accomplice, but the evidence all points to the fact that there was someone else present, someone carrying a gun.
Objection!
An accomplice, you say? Pixel. These protracted proceedings have already forced us to endure 2 summation examinations. Yet in all that time, there has not been a murmur of a 3rd man. It is apparently Bryce-like being exists. The court must be shown hard evidence. Without it, this fantasy will be crushed. The prosecution demands answers on 2 counts. Firstly, proof, evidence that this accomplice was ever at the scene of the crime. And secondly, the identity of the spurious character. The Skulkins are lying, I know that. But, how can I discern the identity of the person they're hiding? Well, counsel, I'm supposed to prove the existence of this accomplice and reveal the person's identity even. In response to the prosecution's demand, my lord, the defense is... I'm ready to present answers. We got the portfolio with the green blood. The defense is ready. I believe I can provide all the answers the prosecution demands. So, my Lebanese friend, despite the swimming eyes, you seem to think you have something to say. This promises to be interesting. I have to push forward now. There's no other option. I need to use every single piece of evidence available to me if it will make a difference. In that case, counsel will ask you to present the evidence without delay. On the night in question, the most leading up to the death of the victim, what proof have you there was a 3rd intruder present at the scene? The portfolio. The evidence is right here. It's this portfolio. By Jove, that portfolio again, is it? Do you expect the court to rifle through your papers and be more specific? You claim one of these blood samples proves the presence of the third intruder. Well, which one is it? This one.
Take that!
What am I looking at here? There appears to be some green paint or such alike around the bullet hole in the middle of the calendar.
That's a bloodstain, my lord.
A bloodstain?
Green blood, curious even for you. It's the court to understand that the intruder was some unhumane creature. It's something developed by Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
But a great detective. No invention, stop. Not yet appeared in story, stop.
It's this, you see. It doesn't have a name yet, though.
This fogger sprays a chemical that reacts to the different elements in people's blood to change its color.
Different elements of people's blood?
Yes, everyone's blood is slightly different, you see, because it's made of different elements. So by seeing what color it changes to, you can tell in a flash whose blood it is.
Oh, that brings a whole extra dimension looking at blood.
Talk of blood in courtroom, stop. Very exciting, stop.
As an example, this one shows the blood of the victim, Mr. Winniebank.
Ah, stark and blue.
Blue, da ba dee da 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 ba da da. Yes, so you see, the green color of this bloodstain on the calendar shows that somebody else was shot at the main part of the shop.
Now hold fire there, young man. Could it be for some unrelated incident, couldn't it?
No, it's not unrelated. The date shown in the calendar is the date on which Mr. Winniebank was killed.
Why jolly.
Therefore, we're going to assume that whoever shot was shot on the same day.
Then whose blood is it?
Well, the Skulkin brothers in the stand don't appear to be suffering from any gunshot injuries. Which means it must be the blood of somebody else, their third intruder in fact.
Objection!
Whose identity the court is still waiting to hear. You can't delay this any longer, my learned friend. Who is the alleged third intruder? This guy!
Take that!
The man's name is Edgar Benedict.
Edgar Benedict? Oh, who on earth are you talking about, counsel?
He paid a visit to Winniebank's pawnbroker on the afternoon before the incident took place. When the accused attempted to deceive the pawnbroker into releasing his article into possession. That's right. The man identified by the defense, Mr. Edgar Benedict, then attempted to take the article from the defendant by force. And the police let him get away.
Broker. Yes, sir.
I believe this filthy pocket thief was just reading an article from you, no?
Yes, sir.
The article in question belongs to me. I demand for it to be returned at once.
Now that's a lie. What are you trying to pull?
Give me back my overcoat, you rascal. And needless to say, any music box does too. It's been a while, so I just read that part. Inspector Gregson was there at the time and can attest to what happened. In the end, it was the inspector himself who took the disc.
Can you corroborate this account, Inspector?
Yes, my lord. Whoops. There's more or less what happened, and in the interest of being thorough, I asked Winniebank for a print showing the fellow. Taking from one of the red-handed recorder gubses. Yes, that's him talking to Mr. Winniebank that morning.
And you claim this man is the brother's accomplice.
Well, Mr. and Mr. Skulkin?
Never seen the geezer before in my life. Never seen him. Well, somewhat unsurprising, it appears our witnesses disagree with their assertion.
I'm sure your lordship recalls my learning bunny's friend's actual assertion, which was that he could prove the identity of the liege accomplice.
Yes, and I can.
Then show us the evidence.
I agree. We must see proof that the clean-cut gentleman in the photograph is the filthy criminal you say he is.
This is the last piece of evidence. I've had a feeling that something has been missing in this trial from the very start. But now, I'm going to drag it kicking and screaming into the courtroom.
Are you ready to present your answer to court then, counsel?
Yes, my lord. The defense will present the evidence now. Proof that the man pictured in this photograph print was in fact the person struck by the third bullet. The disc! With the green blood!
Present!
Take that!
As I mentioned before, on the afternoon of the day in question, the defendant attempted decisively, admittedly, to reclaim distance from Winniebanks. Which is when the unfortunate mentioned Edgar Benedict appeared on scene, I believe. This man then attempted to prolong the article for the defense's position, no? That's correct, my lord. I myself was present at the time. It was following this that a minor incident occurred. Being a music box, this is countless small but sharp metal protrusions over its surface. Those protrusions caused Mr. Benedict's finger to bleed, and the resulting smear of blood is still visible on the disc now. Goodness, a bloodstain, is it? My assistant and I have just analyzed the bloodstain here in this very courtroom, using my trusty fogger gun. Yes, and we added the results to this portfolio. I say, it's green! It's exactly the same color as the blood around the counter. The evidence is conclusive. The man calling us of Mr. Edgar Benedict, who was in Winniebanks earlier in the day, is the accomplice who was present at the scene of the crime that same night. So there's somewhere else though. Look at the brothers now, there's so many buckets. Oi, what are you talking about? It's boiling here. My lord, it's the opinion of the defense that Mr. Edgar Benedict should be summoned to the courtroom to testify. It will certainly seem that we get ill for to ignore this gentleman's apparent presence.
Objection!
This has gone on long enough now, this flagrant ignorance of the mechanics of law. Sherlock Holmes, you say? Yes, I've heard the name. The protagonist in a series of short stories for the vulgar classes, a god of detection or some such. And now you employ chemical substances devised by this fantastical persona in the highest court in the land. Do you expect us to take you seriously? The samples made by this plaything are not fit to be called evidence. So the bloodstain turned a shade of green. What of it? Here's to you successfully proving that no other blood in the world would turn the same color. Well... And pray do not even think of suggesting that we should take Mr. Shones' word for it. Is he right, Mr. Shones? I don't know. I mean, he is a great detective. What are you talking about? Girl, let me get away with that. I knew it would come to this. Of course, Mr. Shones' invention is going to be recognized by any official body. But what other choice do I have? I just remember what Father Christmas over there said before. About how he was temporarily suspending the Summation Examination. In other words, the examination is over yet, is it? Good grief, what did you just say, young girl? And in the Summation Examination, the decision as to whether or not the trial continues is in the hands of 6 jurors, isn't it? So, the way I see it, it doesn't matter what certain other people think of Hurley's invention. At least, not for now. Yes, she's right. Young lady, you have quite the devious mind. I mean, she's a genius. It really just comes down to one thing. Whether these ladies and gentlemen of the jury are convinced by what you say, Runo. Isn't that right? Is that about right, would you say? Or did I misunderstand something? Unbelievable! Mr. Jones's partner is a force to be reckoned with. Iris Wilson, sharpshooter. After the sure precise of the situation were entirely unexpected source, it must be acknowledged that the previous submission examination has yet to reach its conclusion. This is absurd. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the court now looks to you for your final leads in this matter. As proud citizens of Her Majesty's Britain, I'm sure you will come to fair and just conclusions. So then, state your final decisions in turn, please.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Not guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty!
Not guilty.
2 call guilty and 4 call not guilty. Such is the outcome of the summation examination.
Objection.
My lord, with all due respect, this is an outrage. The prosecution refuses to accept this decision.
On what grounds?
If this juror is persuaded by some half-baked concoction devised by a pretender to real police work, then they are too ignorant to be trusted with the judgment of anyone's guilt.
I'm sorry, Lord Francis, but the outcome of the summation examination cannot be ignored. This trial will continue.
Arg. Arg.
Nevertheless, we find ourselves in a rather awkward situation. The defense has very reasonably requested to stop pointing up a new witness. But sadly, I fear that'll be impossible.
What?
The name the gentleman gave for himself, Edgar Benedict, is quite clearly false.
I don't believe it. Just when I managed to prove the man was there that night. Then what are we gonna do? Could I say something?
Who was that, please? Who spoke?
It was me, my lord.
Juror number 5? What have you to say, madam? If possible, Inspector. Me, ma'am? I wonder if you might show the photograph or print to me again, the one in which the gentleman is shown.
Right, yes, this is the one you mean, Mr. Benedict?
Yes, there's no doubt in my mind.
Juror number 5, you don't mean to say you know this man?
Yes, I know him.
What? No.
Good gracious! Order! Juror number 5, how on earth? I am a communications officer, stop.
As you could clearly see,
the gentleman in the photograph is, stop, why is your eye shining? Also, communications officer, stop, he works in my office, stop.
he does?
A very talented operator, in fact, stop. He should be in the communication station now, stop, tapping away on the telegram, stop.
This doesn't seem right somehow. I can't put my finger on why, but it doesn't feel right. I suppose the imagined the accomplice to be some sort of hardened criminal. It's a bit unexpected to find out that he has a respectable job by day, whatever he goes up to at night. Yes, I suppose that's it. I suppose that's why I felt something was wrong.
If the gentleman is at London's communication station, we should be able to stop pointing out him within the hour. Lord Francis, if you please.
Yes, my lord.
Make the necessary arrangements in all haste.
As your lordship bids.
The court will recess for 1 hour. When the new witness arrives, we shall reconvene to hear the gentleman's testimony. Inspector Gregson.
Yes, my lord.
I should like to hear from you specifically about events at the pawnbroker on the day in question. Come to my chambers during the recess.
Yes, sir, my lord.
Very well. Court is adjourned until 1:40 p.m. Do not be late.
To be continued. Okay, actually I have time, so gonna keep going.